Joel, you are just getting back from combines.
Yes.
You saw a lot firsthand. You got some inside. We hope so. In your opinion, should Kyler go ahead of Haskins?
Yeah, so there's a lot to this story. Let me start by saying first and foremost, come Thursday night, first round of the NFL draft, my jaw will be on the floor if Kyler Murray is not selected #1 by the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so if you start with that premise, then you can get to everything else, which is, well, how do you get to him over Dwayne Haskins? It's pretty easy. Just as a passer, you can get there, and then you take into consideration his ability to run the football, and it's pretty easy to say Kyler can affect your team more positively in a more immediate fashion than Dwayne Haskins is. Nothing to take away from Dwayne. I think he's going to be a really good pro, probably a little bit more developmental. But then you go a step further and you start thinking about the marriage between a head coach and a quarterback. Okay, because that has to match. Fit matters. Now, there's very few players at any position, Shannon, as you know, that can overcome the fit of their coaching staff and their schematics. And there's very few coaches that can overcome what their players can do based on what they want to. So if you jumble all that together, you throw it in a pot and you stir it around, you get this. Cliff Kingsbury has wanted to work with Kyler Murray since he was a sophomore in high school.
Correct.
That's when Cliff was recruiting this kid to go play at Texas A&M, when Cliff Kingsbury was an assistant coach for Kevin Sumlin at Texas A&M. Because he knew something about Kyler Murray that all of us are now starting to realize, and that is a perfect fit. It's a match made in heaven. Cliff Kingsbury's offense is very similar to Lincoln Riley's. Okay, very similar in that they're going to use more pro principles than you would realize with the air raid style of concepts that go all the way back to Hal Mumme and Mike Leach. You throw in some tempo and the ability to affect the defense with the run, of the running ability of the quarterback, and that's exactly what Cliff wants. Okay, he knew that Kyler Murray was going to be a better version of Johnny Manziel, who won a Heisman Trophy, and that's exactly what Kyler ended up being at Oklahoma for Lincoln Riley. So not only is it a great fit, but I think it's a great restart for the Cardinals. It's a great restart as they get their coach and they start moving forward. And now they've got a great chess piece to go play out in the open market. Because guess what? I don't think Josh Rosen is chopped liver. In fact, I think he would be the second quarterback taken in this draft. So now all of a sudden you've got a trade piece to go out there and maybe get a second first-round pick this year and maybe next year as well.
You ain't getting no second-round pick. Skip, you can go, but you ain't getting no second-round pick for Josh Rosen. You ain't getting the first-round pick. You'd be lucky to get a third-round pick.
You might get a 2. You might. If somebody's desperate enough for a quarterback. And I'm not sure who that somebody would be, but it will not be Bill Belichick. I'm on record as saying that.
Okay.
I'm not a Josh Rosen fan, and I wasn't last year when we were going back and forth before this draft, before last year. And I agree with everything you said about Kyler Murray. We have gone back and forth just on sheer height and everything, Shannon. Every problem he has with Kyler Murray is conventional wisdom, and it's all correct. He's just too little. He is too little, and I don't care. He's going to shatter the mold at the next level. You got to watch him a lot in college, obviously, because I'm an Oklahoma fan. I watched every snap he took, and he is a very special playmaker with the quickest feet on the football field I've ever seen, and that includes Barry Sanders. I've never seen, that kind of acceleration. I'm not sure what. Do you think he'll run the 40 at the OU Pro Day? He might.
I'm not sure.
He might.
I hope he does.
But Shannon, he'll be 4.3-ish. He'll be somewhere in there, if not 4.2-ish.
Just ask Texas.
Yep. Just ask Texas. And so the beauty of this kid is he has supreme confidence. It borders on like a good arrogance when you watch him on the field, just the way he handles himself, his body language. He's not a vocal leader. It's all with his body language. He does it instead of say it. He makes plays at the biggest moments in the biggest games, and he has got a whip of an arm.
Yeah.
It's a better arm than Dwayne Haskins has. And I just watched the throwing drills, and I don't love the combine because we overstate everything that comes out of it because the tape does not lie.
Yeah, exactly.
And Dwayne Haskins was really good on tape. He was not very good on Saturday. I watched a lot of the throwing drills. He was a little off, a little late, a little behind.
Underthrew a lot of
He did,
Really?
like a lot. And I was like, come on, you're better than that because I saw what you did to Michigan. I saw what you did in the bowl game.
Yeah, a lot of that Michigan stuff
Okay.
with jailbreak screens,
Okay.
bubble
Well,
screens.
there
and
was
guys-
a lot of
Well,
that.
crossing routes, and
Yeah.
you saw what his wide receivers did running all under 4.5.
Well, did you see what the two of them were
4-3-1,
right?
4-3-6.
Yeah.
4-3-3.
And the third one was 4-4-2, right behind
Okay.
DK Metcalf.
Okay. So he ran poorly, and I don't really care about that. He said he was crampy. He ran 5:07 or something like that. Dwayne Haskins did. But you might be right about Josh Rosen being the second-best quarterback, but that condemns this draft because all those other kids, the Drew Locks of the world, I just don't love any of them. I just don't love them.
But that's going to help the market for Rosen, right?
It
really is.
No, it should. But again, I agree with you. I said it to start the show. Match made in football heaven. You can do things with him that you can't do with anybody else. And what I love about Kyler Murray is he's not a runner. He's a thrower.
That's right.
He wants to throw. He's going to create space and windows and sight lines with his feet to throw. If you call runs, he can run it. If you call a quarterback draw or some kind of rollout, it will happen. But he's not looking to do that unless you ask him to or dare him to do it.
My thing is that when we look at these quarterbacks that's around his height, slightly taller, Drew Brees was a 3-year starter. Russell Wilson was a 4-year starter.
Lots of reps.
Baker Mayfield was a 3-year, maybe almost a 4-year starter. This guy has 17 games. And for me, I understand, and I have no problem, and we talked about this earlier. Cliff Kingsbury, his system, what he wants to run, this kid is better suited than Josh Rosen. I got no problem with that. For me, it's just hard because Oklahoma had the best offensive line in college football. That's what they were voted.
Yep.
Arizona had one of the worst. So now he's a 5'10", 207-pound quarterback that's been drinking a lot of water to get to 207. He might be closer to 195, 198, maybe 200.
Playing weight.
Yeah, right.
You're right.
Because when you take this guy, Joel, you know this. It's not for 1 or 2 years. You're saying this guy's going to be our quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years. And can he stay healthy? Can he withstand the rigors of playing quarterback in the NFL for 10 to 15 years at that size?
That's a great question. And obviously I think that's the biggest hurdle, to be quite honest with you, is long-term durability. I will tell you that at the college level, I have not seen, and Baker wasn't even as good as what Kyler was, I have never seen a player avoid the devastating hit as well as Kyler Murray did. Whether he was running, a lot of people think like, oh, yeah, he runs and gets down. No. I'm talking about in the pocket, sliding away, dipping the shoulder, getting away. His quickness in tight spaces is pretty unique. I think that will help Arizona get over that hurdle because it is a hurdle. I'm with you on that. I will tell you this, by the way. If you go look at what I would call the difficult areas of football for a quarterback, 3rd and 7 plus, okay, what are you when you're down by 7? You know, all those areas. Guess who was the best quarterback by a wide margin in every single category last year in college football? Kyler Murray. Rating, percentage, touchdown interception ratio, yards per attempt, conversions on 3rd and 7 plus. So what's interesting for me is when I see a guy that's 5'10", normally I'm used to seeing somebody that's utilizing the short game, utilizing the screens. They're splitting the offensive line so they can dump something down, so on and so forth. And yet, here he is leading college football in yards per attempt on 3rd and 7 plus. So his ability to anticipate down the field windows is pretty unique for a guy that's 5'10". And remember, he's grown up in this style of offense. I do think it's a match made in heaven. One more thing, I'd be remiss if I didn't get this out. I think he is the best combination of passer-runner that we've seen maybe ever in the draft. When you're talking about the acumen as a passer and the explosiveness as a runner. Did you know you can go back, Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick, Vince Young, RG3, none of them sniffed over 7 yards per carry for a career. One of them, Vince Young, did it as a freshman for Texas. He ran for about 7.4 yards per carry. None of the other guys even sniffed 7 yards per carry in a season. Kyler just did it for a career, 7.1, 7.2 last year at Oklahoma. Vic never sniffed 6 yards per carry. So you can make a strong argument that he's one of the most explosive runners at the quarterback position that we've ever seen, at least coming into the draft at this point.
I would agree ever.
It might be a situation where it's too good to be true. You remember Andre Ware, Skip, ran the run and shoot in college, won the Heisman Trophy, goes to Detroit where they run the run and shoot with Miles Davis and Wayne Fonson.
Didn't work. Supporting cast.
Man, the draft.
But could he run? As opposed to shoot. He
really run. The run and shoot, all you wanted was to shoot.
Let's just say, if you're saying who should be more nervous, the Cardinals or Kyler, I think Kyler might be the one that should be more nervous about the supporting cast
Yes.
around him rather than the other way around.
We've been talking
But
about
Shannon,
some of that.
last thing.
Yep.
Not one time last year did I wince when little Kyler went down. Not one time did I think,
Interesting.
uh-oh. With Sam Bradford as an OU fan, every other play I'm thinking, I don't know if he's going to get up from that. And that was his history. And
Well, you saw when old Quincy Williams almost put him in that Peruvian
I don't
necktie.
think I ever
just-
checked. I never checked on Kyler on the sideline about anything.
No.
Never
No.
a
That didn't do anything
anything.
to him.
But
It was like a
nothing. I
love
never
Oh,
story.
no,
noticed.
Uncle Willie put that necktie on him.
Huh.
If you go back and watch how he manipulates his
checked on
body
it.
in the pocket to
That
avoid
is
those hits.
a
It's
good
pretty
point
unique.
to bring.